I first want to congratulate JD and his staff and the women. Obviously had a tremendous season last year, and it's definitely an inspiration for us all. So, congrats again. I thought we had a really good summer. I thought our guys did a really good job in the weight room, getting bigger, stronger, faster. There was a commitment level, to getting better. Individual workouts. We only have 2 hours a week in the summer and the fall before we get going full speed, but the guys did a really good job getting up extra shots and challenging each other just to come back better, bigger, stronger, faster, and ultimately better. This year's team will be somewhat inexperienced. I think you look at what we lost. You look at Brandon, you look at Dalen, you look at CJ. Those guys, 3 starters. Dalen started half the season, then he came off the bench, played starters minutes late in the season. But those are the 3 that we're really looking at to help us get going right away and lead the way with as far as the experience. I like the fact that we can go big. We got a traditional lineup with traditional power forward Chuck Gavin, 6'8", junior college transfer that can help down low. And obviously the big fella Brandon in the middle. I like the fact that we can play small ball and go 4 guards. So looking at that, looking at our schedule, I think we're prepared for either this or that, as well as making teams adjust to how we want to play, big or small. So with the smaller lineup, it allows us to play a little bit faster, as long as we're not turning the ball over. And it allows us to get up and pressure a little bit more, which is something I look to do a little bit more this year with that smaller lineup and the depth that we have on the perimeter. So I like what I see so far, so good. We just got to continue to be better in everything that we do and stay healthy and get a little lucky.
With losing Mike, Garrett, and Jabari, what's more of a concern for you? The production replacing the points, or is it finding guys who can play those minutes? Because those guys not just produce, they played a lot of minutes for you as well.
I think, we're in the business to produce. I talk to our guys all the time. Anybody can show up and punch a clock. Anybody can show up, practice from 3 to 6. We got to produce. And at the end of the day, we feel like the 5 returning players with those experience, those minutes, are the guys that we're looking forward to leading us in that production category at both ends of the floor.
CJ got a lot of minutes as a true freshman. What can he bring to you now that he's got an extra year under his belt, really kind of trading off running the point guard spot and also being that shooting guard for you as well?
Consistency, I think a little bit more on the ball. Defensively, I think he got into some foul trouble a couple of games just because he's so aggressive, but he reaches a lot. So we've been working with him, show his hands and move his feet. But, I love the fact that, his freshman year, the biggest thing is maturity level. He's a mature kid who came in right away and can handle going to class. He can handle just the overall life of a student, Division I student athlete. So just expanding his role, expanding his game at both ends of the floor and just being more efficient and consistent.
Last year there were
Make a few more shots.
Last year in the backcourt, you had some unfortunate injuries, of course, Jabari, and then D'Lo missing a lot of time, and you struggled at times to really have that consistent ball handler. How do you think you guys are situated in that regard?
Right now we're good in that sense. Everyone's pretty much healthy. Banged up a little bit, but like I said, we was here 8 weeks in the summer and 6 weeks in the fall, so a little bumps and bruises here and there, but that's important. You want to stay healthy, have a little luck, and feel good at where we are right now.
Seems like Brandon keeps adding something to his game. Last year he picked up a couple post moves, became a really good rim protector for you. What do you want to see from him taking that next step?
Stay away from the three-point line. We work on it. I'm all about skill development, total development, and but no, you know what? He actually has a great stroke, and I tease him about that a lot. And we've looked at him out there a little bit, and then he kind of forgot about where the block was, so we had to get him back down there. But just I think being more composed, I think going into his junior year, he wants to win so bad. We all do, but I think he's his toughest critic. So just being more composed. Obviously, more touches coming his way. Just be efficient in and around the basket, and occasional pick and pop, because he works on it. And that's my thing. If you work on it, that's how you become confident, through repetition.
We've already talked about Chuck Gavin a little bit, but as far as those newcomers, you have 4 of them on here, and you have a lot of minutes up for grabs like we talked about. How much of that do you expect to see from them in the early goings?
It's to be determined. I think, they're competitors. 1 through 15, we have 2 walk-ons, so they're all competitors. Now, I love the competitive environment that we have in practice. We talk about competitive brotherhood. It's nothing personal, but when you get between the lines, you want to be competitive. So I think those three are coming in with the idea that, they want to compete for minutes, and that's a good thing.
Dalen showed that he could really thrive in that six-man role for you, but you mentioned you've got minutes, you've got a starting spot up for grabs. Where do you see him kind of sliding in for you?
He probably, obviously, started more games, but you look at, I thought that he had a great shot at six-man of the year last year. If you look at his numbers, 50% from the league, I think 50% from the three. I think it was first or second or tied for first in the conference and averaging 8 points. So I think right now just doubling his production at both ends of the floor. Really looking for him to score. I think he's a guy that's pretty difficult to guard when he's locked in, when he's focused, aggressive mentality. So I'm really looking for him to be that guy to look for shots and create not only for himself but others. And then obviously at the defensive end, be that two-way player.
How much does a year, you got a lot of guys who were getting a lot of minutes for the first time ever last year. How much do you think that will help with consistency? Because that just seemed to be where you guys would play 4 great minutes and maybe have 4 lesser minutes.
Ideally, it should. I think Jeremiah down the stretch did a really good job. He started a few games and then helped us win a crucial victory at Oral Roberts. We were still fighting to make the tournament. And he gets 10 points, 10 rebounds off the bench. So, and then at North Dakota State, double overtime loss. I thought he did a really good job coming off the bench and providing us and giving us a spark and another guy who can make shots. So, with him and D'Angelo Brewster, you look at D'Lo. Once Jabari went down, next man up. It's an old cliche, but when it hits you, it's like, oh, really? So I thought he did a really good job of stepping up. Obviously got us off to a great start with the conference and then pulled his hamstring. So with that being said, those guys, those 5, with those experiences should help with that consistency.
You guys were predicted 8th in the preseason poll. Do you pay attention to something like that, or is that something that you use more as motivation than anything?
Nah, we're inspired by what, and I say that, sincerely, what the women did, because, when I was an assistant coach, we was able to share the conference in 2013, but what they did and to do it at Western is even more special, because I was here before they were, so I've seen the transition. And so being picked 8th, we feel like it's not who you play, it's how you play. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. If you look at, I just use South Dakota State, they were 0-6, and they come back and they win the tournament, they go dancing. So it's a reality, social media, you can't avoid it. We don't hide from it, but we don't focus on it. All we have to do is look right across the hall, look at what the women did, and that's inspiration enough, at least for me. And I've shared that and expressed that to our guys.
Because of the way last season ended, overtime, buzzer beater, chance to beat the number 1 team in the conference, is that something that says, hey, we're just that close, guys?
I think for the most part, it's, just I don't think we're in a position where we need confidence or we need anything like that. I think it's just do it. I think we feel confident because of our preparation, because of the work that they put in, the work that the assistant coaches put in with the scouting reports. So we go into every game confident. We go into every game prepared. Now it's just getting over the hump and staying healthy and getting it done.
Once again, you guys play a challenging non-conference schedule. What was that? Was that kind of your goal? Was to try and mix in a few different games, that some major Division I team programs, but then also some mid-major teams at home, which is a change for you guys too.
Yeah, we have 16 home games. How about that? 7 of our first 9 at home. So pretty good scheduling. Coach Wolf does a great job with that. So, but no, we always try to challenge ourselves and ultimately prepare us for conference play. That's the goal. I thought we was able to do that. At Iowa State, it's going to be tough. At Butler, it's going to be tough. We play Eastern Illinois twice, same year. Coach Spoon, we've got that done where we go there and they come here. It's going to be a tough road game for us. SIUE, they're all going to be challenging, but the goal is to prepare us for conference play. And the past 2 or 3 years, we've had the toughest non-conference schedule, so I feel pretty good about that.
What are some of the things you want to get accomplished before you guys get rolling for real here in a couple of weeks?
I think for the most part, just consistency with our effort, better communication from some of the younger players, the guys that we expect to lead, more consistent leadership between now and our first game. And we have time to get it done. The X's and O's, like I said, we've here 8 weeks in the summer. Most of that stuff's installed. We're ready to play. I think we've been beating up on each other enough. We just need to, consistently be focused and locked in from day one.
What do you think you individually improved on the most this summer? Start with you, Dalen.
Oh, okay.
I'll make it easy for you guys.
Like Coach said, he wants me to be a 2D player, so I've been working on just defensive footwork and trying to become the best defender I can be.
For me, it's a great question, but just trying to finish around the basket. That's the main thing I'm trying to work on.
And I would say for me is being more assertive, being a two-way player, because last year I kind of had the role of guarding the best player on the opposite team. So me is getting better on the defensive end and also becoming a consistent scorer on the offensive end to help my team win. So.
CJ, how much does not a lot of freshmen get the minutes that you were able to get as a true freshman? How much do you think that'll help you going into the season?
I think it'll help a lot. Like I said, being more assertive. And last year I played at like 32 minutes, so I feel like I have a lot of experience. But I'm also got to actually help my teammates and everything. So I'm looking forward to that.
Brandon, what more can you do for this team? Because obviously you were one of the premier shot blockers in the country a year ago, and kind of a guy that teams even went at. Is that something that you kind of prepare yourself knowing that teams are going to attack me and try and get me in foul trouble and get me off the floor right away?
Yeah, that's obviously a big thing that I need to work on, especially if you look at last year. Getting 2 quick fouls, that can't happen this year. Trying not to foul.
Moving feet.
Move the feet, yeah.
Dalen, as a senior, do you kind of feel like this is now your time and your team after being behind guys who've been here for so long?
I don't really think about it like that. I mean, it's a team effort. I mean, of course we lost guys, but as a team, we all got to stand up and produce. So it's not. I don't really see it as anybody's team or Brandon's team or CJ's team. It's a team effort. So we're all in this together, and we all want the same thing.
Dalen, Coach Red talks a lot about the versatility and the fact that you can go big and go small. And with you being someone that can play a lot of different positions, is there somewhere you feel most comfortable with on the court?
Well, 3 is my position. I mean, I've been kind of experimenting with one sometimes. Obviously, when we go small, I can play 4 and big, whatever. But I'll have to say 3. I mean, that's what I've been playing for 4 years being here. But if need be, I can kind of switch it up. So.
What do you guys think was the biggest thing from a year ago with all you guys getting so many minutes, but knowing that there's a lot of minutes that are off the table now with 3 guys who played a lot of minutes here now gone?
I feel like with us 3, we, like you said, we played a lot of minutes last year, but we also have guys that's going to come off the bench this year that could help. D'Angelo Brewster, Jeremiah Usafi, Kobe Webster, who's a freshman. We also have some other wing guys. So really, our job is just to lead the team, and then we also have a lot of guys that's coming off the bench that I think are really going to contribute to this season. So,
Brandon, you guys have a lot of size. Is it a point where you hope that maybe you guys can get the ball inside a little bit more often this year and let you go to work with? Because you've got a lot of post players this season on this roster.
Yeah, definitely a lot of sizes here. I mean, you look at our conference, not many teams have, one 7-footer, and we have 2, and a couple of guys right under that. Obviously, going to the post is, obviously something I always want to do, but then again, we have great guards, and, going inside out, I think, is something we should really look forward to this year.
Scott mentioned this earlier when talking to Coach Wright, but consistency was something that plagued you guys at points last year. Is there a way you go about preparing for that to ultimately be more consistent as a team? Well, so I'll just go around the table. I'll start with CJ then.
Yeah, confidence comes through preparation. So I feel like that we wouldn't start off games very strong. We would come lackadaisical, and that would really get us down in the beginning. So we'll go down 10, 15 points, and then, now we want to wake up and play. So I really think you have to start off from the get-go, and that's really the big thing that we have to work on this year. Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, consistency, it's very important. Obviously, this year, I think right now as a team, we still need to get better at that, including myself. But consistency is going to be huge this year.
Yeah, like CJ said, with our team, there's a lot of different individuals, and everyone gets ready in their own specific kind of way. And I think the challenge for everybody is to kind of find their niche and what kind of makes them go, and bring that every day to practice in the games.
Coach mentioned the preseason ranking. It's there. It's something you guys are aware of. How do you guys use it as motivation, or do you use it as motivation to get ready for the upcoming season?
I mean, we really don't pay attention to what anybody says. I mean, no offense, but we know what we're bringing. We know who we have. The outside world looking in, they don't really know what this program is about. So we don't really take our time to look at that type of stuff. And when we go out on that court, we just play for us, and we play to win. So.
What's it like kind of being that mystery team? Because everybody talks about what Garrett did, what Mike did, what those guys were able to do. And what's it like kind of being that team where no one really knows what to kind of to think of you guys yet?
It's beautiful. I like it. I mean, going into the season, no one's gonna know what to expect. No one's gonna know who's gonna do what. So going into it, I think we'll have that edge, and then I think it'll work in our favor.